for the September equinox to be the day of freedom and democracy. On behalf of individual artists, artist groups and art organisers around the world, we want to declare the September equinox from this day onwards as the International Day of Public Action. We advocate the day as a worldwide celebration of freedom of democracy and are sending a letter to the United Nations, the UN, to officially recognise this day in support of these principles. Also, copies of this letter will be sent to all major world religious leaders to have their support included in our endeavour. At the Beyond Symposium, being in public encounters outside place and inner space in Belfast, April 2017, Shumpon Apisuk proposed that the Day of Public Action would also include members of the public who agreed with these principles, that it shouldn't be limited to artists, but that artists need to instigate and facilitate it. He wrote, "It is the day that all states must recognise and allow actions from the people which are peaceful and non-violent. The day of action can be with or without context, but for the recognition of all people's rights to share the public space together, in solidarity with each other, in respect of each other's rights to share the same public space as well as the time." We understand that the words freedom and democracy have resonances way beyond their respective significations and meanings, which may vary from person to person and country to country. We are interested in how these words can be translated in people's lives as lived philosophy in action and not just to remain as thoughts and ideas. We propose the September equinox to be a day of action and reflection for freedom and democracy. We would like the multiplicity of these actions in our respective countries to be acknowledged by the UN to act as solidarity to the Commonwealth and for the people. The idea that this day could represent a unity of purpose through action and reflection can help bring real meaning to people's lives. Words are not just empty signifiers, but through respective individuals can bring about positive change and hope for those who are unfortunate enough not to have access to these ideals. Freedom of thoughts, words and deeds is not a license to do as one pleases, but about respect for oneself and others through the ideas and operations of democracy. Democracy gives power to people that have freedom in their lives, a potential commonwealth for all people. This action is dedicated to those fellow artists and others who cannot take part in for political reasons. We understand that some who would want to support these principles cannot because of political circumstances in their countries. Those principles are dedicated through these actions in solidarity with their plight. While not wanting to single out any of the world's great state persons who have articulated and demonstrated these ideals, Gandhi's words, "Be the change you want to see in the world," offer a good place to start from. Thanks. Ringing me, painfully but pleasantly. Art told me about her favourite films and of the music that makes her lose it and of how she decided to choose it, this artist's life. And I could see Emily superimposed over Anime, neon glowing pieces of me, blurred lines, lost in translation, whispered goodbye times that clear up any confusion as art sits smiling next to me, sharing in my sake. We talked Fight Club and lasting scarring chemical burns over powdered lime tea and Asahi, as the ornate efficiency of a sushi train turned and as art opened up to me. Art told me she wants to fight her dad, then maybe they can communicate and make her less mad. I said I'd like to fight myself. Art smiled with the knowledge of wisdom's true wealth. I felt the bioelectric pulse then spark as art led me by the hand through the after-dark lit streets of Shinjuku's Golden Gai. And suddenly, art was everywhere. Her scent on my clothes and in my hair, on canvas, paper, in ancient quotes, in wood, in food and on lampposts, through doorways and windows of bars and endless on izakaya walls. Art spoke silently through humanity's worldview, and through art's eyes I saw a more beautiful version of me and of all of you. And we sang, "Ue o nuite aruko, namira ga koborei yo ni." And I could already see, because by then art was all over me, whispering in my ear and snatching glances at my periphery, that butterfly fluttering lightness of endless possibility, of senses tensing tightness with anticipated glee. Yeah, I felt art that night, and art, she felt me. Art says her bad habit is her long time taken to grab it, the moment to open her heart and fully own it. New connected collaborations in any company, which is, of course, just part of art's beauty, revealed exactly when it's supposed to be. Art stares to and through me, trauma recollected in a stonemason's masterpiece of a face, and I imagine her fighting with her dad and joy emerging from moments sad when she dances contact improvisation on the grass stage of Ikebukuro Park. Art showed me that the best way to be is to live at work at making art, and therefore impart life's pains and joys and in-betweens, life's roller coaster could-have-beens, life's moments that can't be unseen from a middle-of-the-road kind of symmetry. Work with those who know and who believe that art lives in the heart and she is worn on the sleeve. I want to make art make me see through her eyes, to filter my senses through her little sighs, to talk about her favourite movies and the music that makes her feel groovy, to tell me her stories of worries and mistakes instead of her secrets. Because I know that if I respect art for who and what she is, her secrets will be absorbed like osmosis, like in the time when we were both trees. Art reawoke in me the second time she spoke to me, and every time subsequently, the base reaction of the unforeseen passion of endless possibility. And even though I left art standing at a platform at Shinjuku, our meeting reminded me the most real of true, that she had always been here with me, waiting patiently to be set free from behind the walls of a locked heart. And so I sang, "Shiawase wa kume no uni, shiawase wa sora no uni," in the streets of Tokyo. And so it became true that art left her mark on my unlocked heart and manifested on my skin in a black scaled skeleton, a symbol of rebirth, knowledge and of seraphim, and wisdom clearly held within, waiting to be released. And that's why my unfinished tattoo, it reminds me of you and of all the other things that I meant to do. Like a ride on a bus, it reminds me of us. We tried to of futures discussed and of mutual disgust. A notification's chime reminds me of the time we tried to define love as a singular divine. My unfinished tattoo, it reminds me of you and of me too, and of the things left unsaid. No chance to finish each other's sentences or play with unspoken pretenses. My unfinished tattoo, it reminds me of you, of words never said, of connections left unsated, but far from dead. My unfinished tattoo reminds me of you and of all the things I meant to do, of plans made or worse, made too late, split-second decisions that sealed a fate. My unfinished tattoo, it reminds me of art and of art's permanent mark on my deepened, widened, woken heart. So naturally sketched and now permanently etched, like my now finished tattoo. Thank you.